You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, listen up. US Cellular wants to help everyone get the gift of connection this holiday season. Already a customer? This applies to you too, because right now, new and current customers can get any phone, and I mean any phone, for free. Yes, free. Sounds like it's time to make the switch. Spread the holiday cheer far and wide this season with a new phone. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Jessica, you and Willow have identified correctly a Miami dog problem that I don't believe a lot of people are privy to. Can you share it with the audience, please?
I actually thought you would get a kick out of this, Dan. So there's this dog virus going around, I guess, but I'm not sure how concerned about it I should be, because we took Willow to the vet last week and they were like, yeah, we haven't had any cases of it, but we went to get her booster shots. But they were like, we have been overrun with dogs over the last few weeks since Thanksgiving, because so many grand dogs have been given food off the table from grandmas. And she said we have a Chihuahua with a croqueta problem.
Roy, why are you shaking your head?
Chris fed a joke to Stugotz, and it was.
I didn't say it for a reason. Yeah.
It was really bad.
I mean, it sounds rough.
See, now if Jeremy was here,
Oh, that was
he
cute.
could have said that.
All dog puns are cute.
But she was saying this Chihuahua has pancreatitis, no joke, from eating croquetas from its grandmother. The grandmother was giving the grand dog croquetas.
Have you, were you somebody before Miami that partook in croquetas? Lucy, do you know what croquetas are?
Nope.
Okay, Jessica, do you want to explain it to her as one of the great Cuban delicacies?
It's something that you missed out on before your time. We had this big croqueta tasting. Did I say it right that time? Because everyone makes fun of me because I used to say it like a white person, because that's who I am.
Yes.
But the first mini mas that we did after I started.
Sorry, I was looking for this.
Thank you. Woman. I paused for a second.
I know. I was too slow to help you there. You saw my old manness. You saw me adjusting my glasses. I got excited. I go, hey, wait a minute.
She waited as long as she could,
I know
Dan.
she did. She tried to help me, and I was too slow.
They're a fried delicacy, and he made us all these specialty ones. Like there was a mac and cheese and a.
Oh.
What else was there? Was
so
an ice cream
good.
one?
Yeah, that's ice cream
The
one.
mac and cheese croqueta. Oh my God.
Yeah, like cheese,
That doesn't
ham,
even seem. That seems wrong.
whatever you want, really.
Lucy has no idea what you're talking about. Doesn't seem terribly interested either, from what I can tell.
I'm looking at pictures.
Okay, well, it's not. No, it's not. Optically, it's not
She
much.
hasn't been to Flanagan's yet either, which is something that we also
What?
did before her time. We went to Flanny's and they hooked us up with all you can eat everything. And we sat there and just ate 1,000 rockin' rib rolls and baby back
Excellent.
ribs and nachos.
It's all
We need to
excellent.
go back and do that for Lucy.
Great bar food.
I've spent very little time in Miami since I've moved here because I've been traveling so much. This is my first weekend I'll be in Miami since August.
That's crazy.
And there's
Which is
a flood
crazy.
watch till Sunday.
And there's a flood watch. But do you know what I'm doing, Dan? I'm renting a dog this weekend.
Renting a dog?
I'm renting a dog. So
What?
the Miami-Dade shelter has this awesome program called Paw Venture, where you get to take out a shelter dog for the day and get to just have them out in the real world. Because I would love to have a dog, but I travel too much, so I can't get one. And I saw this on TikTok, and I'm so excited. So tomorrow I get to pick up my dog for the day.
So then you have to bring
How about
it
Lucy?
back.
I'm really sad to bring it back, but I'm hoping that other people sign up to do this on the weekdays when I'm working and I can't rent a dog, so that all the dogs get to go out and have fun in Miami.
It seems cruel renting a dog. It does.
No.
Thank you, Roy. No.
The alternative is it sits in a shelter cage all day.
No, I understand that, but you're giving the dog for 24 hours a taste of what it's like to not sit in that thing, and then you're putting it right back in. I mean,
Exactly.
Well,
How does
so-
the dog feel about
Thank you.
this?
Hold up. So the dog gets to go out, have fun. It wears little Adopt Me collars and a little vest, so people will come up and pet the dog like you're supposed to be in a public space so that people can come see the dog. I'll take pictures and post it on my social media. I'm going to help this dog get adopted
Right.
faster, and I would
By
rather...
renting it.
Yeah, by renting it for the day. And if I have a good time, I'll rent it another time.
And Lucy's famous. She's number 4 on Big Game 24. Sorry.
Right.
Well, moving
Tough.
up.
Right.
Hopefully 4 by the end of the segment.
Better to have loved
Big
and
Game
lost than to have
Boomers.
never loved at all.
Exactly.
Football
Well said.
personalities. So post a picture of the dog. Someone will come adopt it.
I want to get behind everything that's happening here. I don't want to. Now, I don't know what.
I mean, it's not furniture. It's not rent-a-center. It's a dog. I mean, it has feelings. You don't take
In
a dog.
Stugotz's defense,
Right.
this dog is going to get excited and think, is this my new life? This is
Ooh, do I-
amazing.
do I get to
I'm
go
going back.
off-roading?
Is this my new mom? I mean,
Oh, wait a minute. So now you've heard me say before that the worst thing in the world isn't being poor if you worry a lot about finances. It's being rich. It's being poor, then rich, then poor.
Imagine being rich for a day.
It's going to be out for 5 hours.
I'm going to give you money for 5
You
hours.
know what?
Right.
I don't like this. I'm doing a
rent
good
some
thing.
cash. Yeah.
This
I
dog
am
has to deal with
helping this
multiple
dog.
humans.
It's either going to sit there all day or it's going to go and have a really fun day with me.
False hope.
By the way, what Lucy is doing?
White woman.
Well, we've got a problem around here because I don't
Two
feel,
Americas.
I don't feel like
Can you rent my kids? I mean,
I don't feel like Roy and Juju and Amin feel about this dog stuff the way that we do. And I wonder what's happening there. Any ideas?
I hate when you're on the elevator and somebody with a dog comes on the elevator and now the dog is licking your $200 shoes and it's
Yeah,
like,
that sucks.
brother.
Yeah, it's terrible.
and it's a rental. I mean, imagine.
What are we going to do about this? Because I want to get behind this cause. You could do good work here, not just for the dog whose heart you're going to break. That dog is going to have to be.
I'm going to find him/her a home.
You're coming around, Dano.
that
Yeah.
dog.
Number 24 on Big Game Boomers list of college football personalities.
So I just shouldn't help people because eventually the help expires. I shouldn't get like, oh, okay, I'm not going to donate money to a charity because they'll spend it and then they won't have it anymore. This is bad. I am helping this dog and I'm excited, and you guys are not going to take this away from me.
You want to help a dog, then adopt a dog. I mean,
I can't adopt a dog because what's worse is I adopt a dog and then I'm gone every single weekend and I can't take care of it.
But this way.
because of you.
Because of you.
Yes, but this way, you're also going to be gone every single weekend and not with this dog. You're doing the
But
same
it's
thing.
not my responsibility. So
That's
I'm
correct.
going to take this dog out. I'm going to give it a good day. I'm going to let all the people pet it. Someone will fall in love with it. Maybe a listener of the show will follow me on Instagram, see this dog and say, I think that's my dog. And then this dog will get adopted and I will miss it, but I will be so happy that it has a good home now and I know I did my part to help. You are welcome.
Got his ass.
That is a charitable effort that you are doing. Again, but one dog will have to be a martyr if indeed it gets the hope. Oh, this is clearly her doing good work so that I may be with someone one day who is in a cage, and then that person never shows up and you will not have help. And my one rescuing savior will have failed, and I had that one magical day with her, but now I still live in a cage. And back when I just lived in the cage, I never dreamt of a magical savior. I knew I was going to die amid my own feces.
How about you call the shelter now, Dan, and tell them I cancel my reservation because you would rather the dog sit in the shelter the whole time?
No, I
long
want
term, it's a better
Disappoint that dog.
decision for you.
I feel like Roy wants in on this.
Yeah, I got a scenario in this situation. Let's say I rent this dog for Claire's birthday party.
Oh, this is...
That's not what I'm doing it
Jesus.
for.
No, I'm just saying, this is my scenario.
Let my boy cook.
All right, I do this. And then after the party, I have to return this dog. So now I'm disappointing Claire, who thinks I got her a new dog, and I got to disappoint this dog,
Zagacki, yeah.
bring this back to the shelter.
Who wins
I don't
here?
have a kid.
Who wins?
I
I'm not
don't have
talking
a
about
child.
This is my scenario.
You don't rent the dog.
That you
I'm
just
the one renting the
invented.
dog.
How about at that same birthday party, the dog takes a chunk out of one of the kids? Now we have a real problem.
Now you can't bring the dog back because the dog just
Do
bit
you
someone.
sue
Yep.
the company or do you sue loose?
Okay, I won't bring the dog to a birthday party tomorrow. I won't do that.
Here's an idea. Why don't we just do nothing ever?
Yes.
Sold.
Why are you renting the dog, though? Like,
Let's rent a
Because
dog. The show should
I-
rent a dog.
I would love to have a dog of my own. I would
Right.
love.
Well,
I
then
got
get
all my
one.
dogs from shelters, but I travel too much for this job that it like would be very unfair for me to get a dog that would be really hurtful to
She
the
has
dog.
no family nearby.
I have no
Unless-
family nearby, so
unless-
this is how I get to have a dog, do something good.
This is how she
have
wins.
your cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
All right,
Because I would
and-
love to get a dog of my own. But
All right, Lucy, sold. We can
Thank
do
you.
it. Meadowlark, you will fly with the dog wherever it is you go, just like
Herb Street.
just like Herb Street.
But your seat has to be next to Amin on the airplane.
You have a deal on air deal. You now own a dog.
Today's episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by Venmo. Look, no matter how your favorite team does this season, there's still one way to feel like a winner, and that's with Venmo. That's because when you use Venmo to add $100 or more to your DraftKings account, you'll get an extra $25 in DraftKings bonus credits. Just go to DraftKings.com/Venmo offer to activate your offer. Then choose Venmo to add funds to your DraftKings account, add $100 or more, and boom! 25 credits will appear in your DraftKings account if you're eligible. This offer is only good through December 31st, 2023 or while supplies last. So make your move before the shot clock runs out. Here's the deal. Venmo is a fast and easy way to add money on DraftKings. And if you don't have Venmo account yet, don't sweat it. Signing up in the app is super simple. So what are you waiting for? Just add $100 or more to your DraftKings account with Venmo and you'll get $25 in bonus credits. Go to DraftKings.com/Venmo offer and go get that bonus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Eligibility and age restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. Valid one per first time Venmo account transfer. Opt-in required. Minimum $100 transfer from your Venmo account to your DraftKings DFS account. $25 bonus issued as DK dollars that require one-time playthrough before withdrawal. See terms at DraftKings.com/Venmo offer.
Dan Le Batard.
How do people always go missing in the mountains? Don't go to the mountains. And by the way, I don't want to bring race into it. This is the most white people thing ever. Going missing in the middle of the mountains. It's the strangest thing. You go by yourself. You don't take a radio. You don't take a phone. You're missing for 4 days, and they find you like 10 years later covered in snow. And it's like, don't go by yourself. If you're going to go on a trail, don't go by yourself.
Stugotz.
Put it on the poll. Is it the whitest person thing ever? I believe is what you called it. Going into the woods by yourself. Is going into the woods by yourself?
I can't disagree with that, man.
I mean, so black people don't camp?
Yeah, black people don't hike. They don't camp. They don't go out into the woods.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We bring in now Adnan Virk and David Samson. David Samson, I just saw him. If you noticed his face just as we were starting, it seems like he's being bombarded by life. It seems like hard things are happening behind the scenes, but he is going to put on a professional face, and he is going to rise up right now, and he is going to sell the hell out of Nothing Personal by brawling with Adnan Virk about whatever movie from 1978 they disagree about. I've got Lucy and Jessica not interested at all in what's happening here. I'm trying to entertain Charlotte as well. You have to understand, these movies are old, and they are now doing top 5 Golden Globes award winners all time in musicals, film, and comedy. So they're basically doing the best 5 forms of entertainment ever is what you guys are doing. That's the category?
That is the category, because the Golden Globe nominations were just released this week. It is award season, which is my favorite time of year. And so we wanted to give the people the 5 movies they have to watch.
Before you do that, award season. Is David Samson the only one still clinging to award season around here? Adnan Virk also loves award season. Roy?
I like award season.
Yeah, I like award season. Yeah.
I'm an award season person.
I hate it.
Okay, well, we're split in the room. It doesn't seem like many of us, it seems it's right in half in the room. So
Not me, I hate it.
Entertain.
Dan, one of the reasons why I'm such a fan of it is because I'm a voter. Because I'm one of the members of the Critics' Choice Awards. So I just put in my nominations. I had to put an entire ballot. Actor. Critics' Choice Award nominations were just released. I'm one of 600 voters that were a part of that voting process. So when you're a critic and when you're in the society, it's different.
I'm a voter too. I send them in. They just don't count my votes.
Charlotte Wilder, Oddball, Tuesdays through Fridays.
Hey, well done.
Samson, any OLI, or you're just starting with number 5?
I'd like to start with number 5 because I've asked Metalark to find me a way to become a voter. I'd like to go to the awards. I'd like to do shows from the awards, and we're too busy trying to figure out how to get to Vegas. So it's not going to happen, and that's fine. I understand we can only do one thing at a time at Metalark, contrary to what we're all trying to do. So maybe next year.
Number 5, and I'm just learning that anyone's trying to get to Vegas, because I'm not getting to Vegas for the Super Bowl, so this is news to me.
Well, let's go to the Razzies.
I don't like the Super Bowl. I don't like the...
Who doesn't like the Super Bowl?
Radio Row. You're going to have to do it a hell of a lot more creatively than that if you want me to go to the Super Bowl, that epic commerce fest. Number 5.
Shakespeare in Love. Forget the fact that Harvey Weinstein has been canceled. It is a brilliantly written movie, directed movie.
I really don't want to forget that. I kind of want to remember that.
It's an important part.
No. I want to remember the fact that he should burn in hell, and I'm all for that. Yep. But I don't want people to forget the art of that movie and the way they took a story and the way they had Fiennes and Gwyneth and Affleck and Jeffrey Rush and the crispness of that movie, it is something that I struggle with to continue to watch because I want to separate it. I would encourage people to watch the movie, but then remember what it is to understand who the devil is. And that
I
is
also
Harvey.
struggle. I struggle with the fact this is somehow in a top 5 list. It's a completely forgettable bit of piffle. This movie is notable for the fact it's one of the most egregious Oscar wins ever. The fact it won Best Picture over Saving Private Ryan, and Weinstein successfully convinced Oscar voters that Saving Private Ryan has a great opening 25 minutes. After that, it's nothing special, fairly generic World War II movie. And somehow he convinced them to give this movie Best Picture. It's ridiculous. Judi Dench is in it 8 minutes and won an Academy Award. It's got the other Fiennes, not the good Fiennes. Not Ray Fiennes, but Joseph Fiennes. David, this is a terrible pick.
The way this list ends is with tears and a journey.
Completely forgettable piece of piffle. Is that what you called it?
That's correct.
Okay.
And that's accurate.
I also, I don't believe you, David. I believe you say that, and it's for optics, but I don't believe you when you say you struggle watching Shakespeare in Love when you remember that Harvey Weinstein made it. I don't believe, like,
There's no struggle.
You're like,
David.
the television's off, and now it's totally off, and I don't want to go there, but the movie is so good that I will reach over all my moralities and I will watch it.
He's like Thanasis being held back on the bench. Like,
You're impugning my character, Dan, and there's no reason to do that. If I'm telling you I struggle with that. You're more than happy to understand everyone else's. I do. When I listen to a Michael Jackson song, I think the same thing. Should I be listening or not? Number 4.
But then you listen. You could, but you then
Billie Jean, he listens to.
I question whether he even thinks that at all. I got to be honest.
Hey, you know what? I'm willing to concede.
Just another part of him.
I'm willing to concede that he thinks it every time. If he's willing to concede that he ignores it every time and continues doing what he intended to do.
This segment is bad.
I will absolutely concede that I always win my internal battle.
Number 4.
Dangerous conversation.
Banshees of Inisherin.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Holy
Good
shit,
movie.
indeed.
Whatever Stan Van Gundy says.
Are you about to say that either A, you've never seen it, or B, you did see it and didn't like it?
No, that's what Stan Van Gundy said.
Yeah, he didn't
said
like
it was terrible, and he watched it on an airplane and he hated it. I went to Ireland just to see where they filmed Banshees, David.
When did he
And the
say that,
Navy
Jess?
Notre Dame game.
He said it on the show.
I would hate to go against Stan. However, in this case, I will take his basketball acumen over his movie taste. This is a movie that I thought Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and the Gleeson family is so talented, his son from About Time, and a bunch of other things. This movie has a buddy story that is greater than any buddy story of any movie ever. And Adnan, we could do a top 5 buddy movies.
No, Midnight Run. You can't. Listen, David, I love the Banshees of Inisherin. This is a great movie.
Adnan,
I'm with you.
Adnan,
Go ahead,
please,
Dan.
just 1 second.
Buddy movies.
1 second.
Tango and Cash.
I just want. This is what I want to do. I want to add rocket fuel to this segment. I'm going to play what Stan Van Gundy had to say about this to both of you, and Adnan, I then want you to top what Stan Van Gundy has to say.
Banshees of Inisherin. So I'm like, all right, not usually what I would pick. I watched that movie on a plane ride. I don't get it. I had to text both of them and say, you got to tell me what it is you like about this movie.
It's getting great.
Depressing.
It's getting great
It
reviews.
was terrible. I mean,
No,
that's
terrible.
probably
It
the
was
worst
depressing.
movie I have seen in a long time. And it's one of those, I stuck with it. I wanted to quit.
Stan is not
an
spitting right
hour
now.
into the movie, and I'm like, well, these two guys, like they're really into movies, and they really analyze these things. It must get better at the end. No, it kept getting worse. It was absolutely a horrible movie.
That's an awful take by Stan Van Gundy. I'm with Team Samson on this. Listen, I respect his basketball acumen, but it's an incredible script by Martin McDonough, acerbic, funny, biting satire. As you said, great performances. Jenny the Donkey's amazing. I'm on Team Samson on the Banshees of Inisherin.
Number 3.
Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge is at the top of many of my lists with Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman. Every brilliant song by Baz Luhrmann. It will blow your mind. It will take all of your senses to a place where they can only go with illicit drugs, and then even past that John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo.
It's a tough one. Yeah.
That's a five.
Playing Toulouse-Lautrec, the great artist. The whole movie, I've watched that so many times, and it's on Broadway. If you want to go see it on Broadway, it's quite great there too.
Samson's right. The Broadway show is terrific. It's one of my wife's favorite movies. Baz Luhrmann, amazing, particularly the first half. Do the can. I love Jim Broadbent. Great movie.
Number 2.
Lost in Translation. There is never a bigger love affair with the city of Tokyo or what a person goes through when they're trying to decide what to do in their life. I completely can relate to Bill Murray and what he was going through, how alone you can feel, and the desire for connection, and then finding that connection in a stranger and wondering whether it's real. It leads to the number one discussion about cheating is emotional cheating versus physical cheating. Which is worse? Which is more hurtful?
Who cares?
Both.
Oh, goddamn.
The answer is physical, by the way.
David, this is a completely self-absorbed movie about navel gazing. Like, I know this is one of your favorites, so this cuts deep, but this is not a movie that should be number 2 on the greatest Golden Globe Best Picture winners. Come on, man.
Number 1.
Okay.
Almost Famous. I am dying for Adnan to say one thing bad about Almost Famous. When Cameron Crowe, number 1 soundtrack about his life, starting off as a journalist at Rolling Stone. When you look at the performance by Jason Lee, by Billy Crudup, when you look at Kate Hudson, when you look at Patrick Fugit, that movie has everything, including McDormand. And what interests me most about Almost Famous is getting inside the mind of Cameron Crowe and how he got to be the writer he is and all of the great movies he's written and where it all started. It's called Almost Famous.
I'd call Almost Famous almost good. I think it's one of the more overrated movies in the last 30 years. Honestly, that's one of these movies I do not get it. Middle-aged white guys who wish they're in rock and roll bands somehow identify the Cameron Crowe's movie. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'll give you him for Lester Bangs. But that movie, I saw it once, and I was like Stan Van Gundy of the Banshees of Inisherin. I'm still to this day perplexed why people rave about Almost Famous.
My little sister is named Kate after Kate Hudson from Almost Famous. We love that movie.
Wow, how old is your little
Adnan,
sister?
this is the problem I have on my hands. Per usual, Samson has hogged most of the segment, so we don't have much time left. And I have been wanting on Cinephile to slow you down generally, but now I want to speed you up. Give me everything you've got on your top 5 movies. Everyone's going to get out of the way. Just everyone clear out. This is a solo act. Adnan, all of the information you've got. And on your top 5, 2 full minutes without any interruption from anybody here. Go.
Number 5, Borat's subsequent movie film. Yeah. Not as strong as the original, but still awfully hilarious. That's nice. Borat, number 5. Number 4, The Hangover. One of the best comedies of the last 25 years. It did spawn 2 sequels, were not nearly as funny, but Bradley Cooper, who knew one day he'd be starring in Maestro? Hilarious, as is a scene-stealing Zach Galifianakis. Number 3, Walk the Line. Joaquin Phoenix and Reese Witherspoon make sweet music together in this biopic of Johnny Cash. Amazing work by Reese as June. They've also both won Golden Globes for actor and actress. It's a lovely film. I was just in Nashville for the winter meetings and went to the Johnny Cash Museum to pay homage. It's beautiful. Number 2, As Good as It Gets. Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt. How do you write women so well? I think of a man. And then I take away reason and accountability. Nicholson, unbelievable playing this OCD character. He won the Academy Award. Helen Hunt, wonderful chemistry together. There's a couple of wonderfully romantic moments. Samson's a big romantic, so I know deep in his love, he loves As Good as It Gets. It's a wonderful movie from James L. Brooks. And number 1, I'm not drinking any Merlot. Sideways is number 1. Paul Giamatti and Alexander Payne. One of the best films of the last 20 years. Hysterical and heartbreaking. I know, I can see the back row, couldn't care less. You should go watch the movie Alexander Payne and Giamatti and Thomas Hayden Church. I love it so much.
I like that movie too, but Amin, you were offended by both of these lists.
I mean, just there's some curious omissions and curious inclusions on both lists. That's all I'll say.
That's all you'll say?
Yeah, we don't have that much.
Boy, that's really helpful, Amin.
Nothing. So what you'll say is nothing. What you'll say is nothing. In his defense, he gave you nothing.
There are movies on the list.
There are, yes, they named movies, and all he'll say is that he doesn't have very strong opinions about anything.
I have strong opinions on some of the omissions, and I have strong opinions on some of the inclusions.
What shouldn't have been on
None of which I will give you.
Agree with me that Almost Famous is overrated. Give me that one.
I agree, but I also think Sideways is overrated. Sideways like that.
I agree. I think The Holdovers is far and away Alexander Payne's best movie.
I like wine. So
Agreed.
Watch Sideways. Let me get out of here, man.
It's going to be nominated, Holdovers, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Screenplay, and Best Picture.
Nothing Personal is the name of Samson's podcast. Cinephile, the name of Adnan Virks. Thank you, gentlemen. You bored the young people to tears. Thank you.
It was lost in translation, I guess.
All right, thanks, guys.
No romancing the stone?
Now you get it.
No romancing the stone?
Now you have an opinion
Romancing the stone.
when the segment's over?
That's what he does.
Romancing the Stone.
Great movie.
Boy, Dan, you really have a crew there.
The perfect movie. It's a movie for everybody. No
the
one goes
mics
to
go
see
off and the opinions come out.
Nobody goes to Romancing the Stone and is like, that wasn't for me. No one says that.
Really?
See you later.
John Wilder.
Everyone walked out happy. You're right. You're right. No, you're right.
Limited fake nemesis, a drug lord from Romancing the Stone makes an appearance. John Wilder.
How about the sequel, The Jewel of the Nile?
That was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Fake Indiana Jones over here.
Hey, man. Michael Douglas was not trying to be Indiana Jones.
Dan Le Batard.
Ravens could double up the Colts, and they are good against every team except the Steelers. I mean,
So that's a 14-point win there for the Ravens.
yeah. Double up, 2 touchdowns.
Stugotz.
I think double up is a score. Like if the Colts have 10 and you double them up, you score 20. I don't think double
That's
up.
how you do it. I do it differently.
Okay, but I don't think that double them up. Like you explained it to me as
You
if I
have
was
your
supposed
way, I
to.
have my way.
I understand, but that's not technically doubling up. Like I think you used the phrase wrong or something happened.
Double up plus 4.
Yes,
Exactly.
Okay, that's what he meant. Of course.
2 touchdowns.
You never cease to amaze me.
He's amazing. He really is. He's breathtaking in his stupidity.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I'm having some issues here with everything that happened in that last segment. At one point, the only point that I saw anyone really stirred in the other room is when Charlotte threw her arms up in the air, because As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson was something that made her celebrate a triumph.
Let me tell you, it was a great rise and fall of Charlotte Wilder, because she heard As Good as It Gets, she started celebrating, and then Adnan read the quote, and then she's like, no, not that part.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I was thinking Something's Gotta Give. Which is the one with Diane Keaton and Jack Nicholson?
Something's got to give.
That's Something's Gotta Give.
I like that movie.
That
Good
one,
flick.
It's a good movie.
As Good as It Gets, I don't remember.
They're both hacky.
Isn't that the one where Diane Keaton?
Yeah, it's a Nancy Myers. It's like the Nancy
Keanu
Myers
Reeves.
kitchen. I actually, fun fact, when I saw that, I think I was in 7th grade, made my mom go out and buy me a turtleneck and a button-down so that I could wear the button-down over the turtleneck like Diane Keaton does in Something's Gotta Give.
So Jack Nicholson exists living off the shine of a bunch of movies he made in the 70s. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, great movie. Chinatown, great movie. All those Shining, right? And then he starts making all these other movies, Anger Management and Something's Gotta Give,
movie.
Bucket List. These are all crap movies.
Batman.
The Departed,
You just skipped the 80s on that
Anger
one,
Management.
bad movie. Departed, bad movie.
Oh,
Departed.
The Departed?
Bad movie.
You gonna say that with me right in this room?
Yes.
You're saying a Scorsese movie is bad? I don't think you can
was
call
overrated,
it.
Dad.
You could say overrated.
See
but you-
Irishman?
I smell a rat.
Irishman?
I saw Killers of the Flower Moon on Saturday night.
How was it?
Really good. Insanely long.
See, this is what I believe about Scorsese. Needs an editor.
He has one of the greatest editors of all time.
No. I mean,
I
like
don't
an
know if I would
editor.
have edited anything out of this film.
Really?
Like, it was really good.
So this wasn't
But
like
it was
The
just a
Irishman, where
long-
like there's
no.
just a bunch of scenes.
The Irishman, I was like, wow, this is a lot.
But I think it means
did
talking
wait-
about an editor that's willing to tell Scorsese what they need to tell
He's
Scorsese.
81 years
Right.
old. He's like,
Yeah.
bleep all of you. I'm going to make my movies how I want.
Congratulations.
I waited till it came out on Apple so I could rent it and watch it at home, because I knew that at some point in the 3.5 hours, I'd probably need to use the restroom or like make myself a drink. And I was glad I did that, because it was completely like, it was a great movie. I didn't want to miss anything from it. And I watched it in the comfort of my couch instead of going to the theater and just being like kind of prisoner to my seat for a while. And I didn't mind that it was that long.
There's a scene in
It was
the
like
middle.
watching 3.5 episodes of a TV show.
There's a scene in the middle of that movie. This is not a spoiler alert. Where they're just sitting in the house and there's like they're listening to the weather outside. Go to the bathroom then.
Let me just
They're
say
in there
this
for
right
like
now.
3 minutes. They're like, we just should sit here.
Let me just say right now,
That
Oppenheimer.
was only like 45 minutes in, though.
Oppenheimer, thank you. Thank you, Oppenheimer, for convincing me to never go back to a movie theater again.
Oh, no.
Great movie. But I didn't need to see it on 70 millimeter IMAX, 16-story high screen. Oh, for one scene, for an explosion. The whole movie happens in conference rooms and classrooms.
And silent.
I don't need that. Every movie that comes out from now on, wait until it comes out on streaming. I'm pausing. I've got captions
wait a
on.
minute.
Except Maverick.
You're saying that Oppenheimer has ended your experience with movie theaters? You are done. You're announcing right now to America and beyond. You're saying, Amin Al-Hassan, I'm broken. That's it. Oppenheimer is the stop. I no longer am going to movie theater.
Because Oppenheimer was billed as this thing you had to not only see in the theater, you had to see it in a specific kind of theater. Well, I can get that wherever. No, there are like 13 all over the country. You got to just be living, luckily, near one of them. And I was. And so I went, and I was like, okay, here we go. I took my dad, like, oh, this is going to be incredible. We're going to be blown away by these visuals. And I'm like, this is just a movie, dog. Like, this ain't nothing that needed, like, a huge screen.
I will say, like, I know for a fact Killers of the Flower Moon would have been better in theaters. It was
Why?
Visually stunning, and the scene, it's an epic. Like, the scenes are long and slow, and they play out very slow. And you know these characters very well by the end of the film. And it would
You're describing a good movie. You're not giving me a reason to see it in a theater.
It's a good movie. That's
Characters?
The
popcorn. No.
I just said it was beautifully shot. Like,
But
there's these long scenes of Oklahoma, and there's like the scene where, Chris, you know what I'm talking about, with the fire and the people. Like, I wish I had seen that on a big screen, but for my own comfort level, I'm like, I'm glad that I waited. This was very good.
You watched it on a screener, didn't you, Chris?
No, I watched it. I went to the theater. Yeah.
Oh, wow. How about that?
And the popcorn. You can't get that.
But you talk about these things being epic, and I know Charlotte is obsessed with something like Gilded Ages. We talk a lot around here about, I was saying that Scorsese should have just made that 4 parts. Why don't you just make it 4 parts? But Scorsese is he's an art maker.
He needs an editor.
He's an art maker who needs an editor.
He's been working with that editor for over 50 years.
Roy,
I think he's earned.
Got a bunch of yes people around him.
Exactly, Roy. We're not talking about. We're talking about people who can make hard decisions. Like, you don't need this scene, Marty.
The movie's almost 4 hours long.
There's nothing I would have cut out. So, okay, humble brag. I read the book not that long ago that is based off of, and I thought that the movie was very true to how the book kind of like was paced. Like, it was paced like a book, but I was watching it, and it was good. Like, it's a really just devastating story. I don't know what you would cut out of that movie. All of it felt important to the story.
How long is Oppenheimer? Because the best of the directors, the freedom they're going to be granted here, when you have multiple, now it's not just studios competing for movies, it's now streaming services who will let Scorsese and Nolan and Ridley Scott, and they will make as grand a movie as they can. But Gilded Age is the same kind of epic, is it not? In its look and in what it does with its wardrobe choices, it's spending big.
I feel, it's spending big. It's a big production. Also, let's put some respect on Scorsese's editor's name, Thelma Schoonmaker, which I probably just did not respect by saying it eventually wrong. Thelma,
Speaking confidence.
CH. SH.
Don't do this.
Okay.
No,
So the Gilded Age, big production, huge budget, yes, but theatrical. All these New York theater actors, and Jess and I have been talking about this because we're both obsessed, and it campy. You know, it's like a very heightened version.
It's a soap, but it's a prestige soap.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's like, I mean, it's Downton Abbey, but like America.
America, yeah.
How long? How many episodes?
There's only 9 episodes in the season.
Stop it.
Yes, there's 2 more left. Are you kidding me? The episode on Sunday night had a twist in it that I did not see coming.
At all.
And then I listened to the accompanying podcast, which one of my favorite podcast hosts, who hosts the Bowery Boys podcast, which is a show that I started listening to when I moved to New York City when I was like 22, and it made me fall in love with New York. He hosts the HBO like watch along podcast, and but you're not really watching it, you're just saying it. Yes, Tom Myers.
Yeah,
he's great. And I forget the woman's name. She's from Turner Classic Movies. Alicia. Malone. I think that's her
Alicia
name.
Malone.
They host like this watch along podcast, and they'll tell you like, okay, this is based off of like the actual Vanderbilt family, and this is where their mansion was, and this is what happened to them, and this is what Mrs. Astor did in real life, and they like put it in context, and it's so interesting because the show is ridiculous, and all this ridiculous stuff's happening, but they'll be like, hey, this part actually kind of happened in real life.
Yeah, they're like, so we're gonna go to the opening of the Brooklyn Bridge, and there are all these fireworks, and they're like, did you know it was actually built by a woman? And I'm sitting there watching this, being like, Emily Roebling? Like, did she actually do it? And I'm like trying to Google, no, you just listen to that podcast the next day and they're like, it's true. And
woman built bridge.
Yeah. And it's a delightful joyride. And also there are a lot of plots. We got a lot of
characters.
It's
like Downton Abbey. And also the Sir Julian Fellowes, he made both shows. Downton Abbey is like super dramatic, like English. They live in this castle, and it's like at the turn of after the turn of the century, and they have this staff, and it's about the upstairs and the downstairs and all this stuff. And everyone that I think didn't watch Downton Abbey was like, oh, this is just some like dumb like woman shit. But no, Downton Abbey, they killed off characters like Game of Thrones. They would take your heart and rip it out and step on it and then take a dump on it.
I have never been more devastated by something that happened in a TV show than something that happens in Downton Abbey.
Season 3.
There are no dragons.
More than the Red Wedding?
Yeah, the Red Wedding actually is what made me stop watching Game of Thrones. I was like, screw this. I hate this. All my characters are getting killed. I'm out.
But no dragons? Nowhere are dragons to be found?
No, but there's the Titanic is involved.
I want to ask all of you this because I'm not sure.
Dragon of the Sea.
I like how it is. I do like how Charlotte and Jess are talking about consuming some obsessions that you then want more information from a community that cares about it the way you do to sort of walk you through and re-enjoy the episode you just saw. So you're getting bonus content. I don't know when this started in podcasting. I don't know where the origination of it is, but the podcast industry is filled with very popular podcasts that support very popular shows.
That recap shows.
Well, it's not just recapping it, though. It is a community of people who care about something the way that you do. There's a real lane for business here in bonus content, and I'm wondering how much of that you guys are doing, because I suspect that our crew of Billy's and Mike's and Chris's and Roy's and Stugotz's, that they're not doing any of that. I don't believe that they are. Maybe Mike might seek out some extra stuff because he listens to so many
material.
podcasts.
I watch the episode, I move on, I wait till next week's episode.
I need bonus material. And HBO, what they've done is really smart by like sanctioning these podcasts because other people do them anyways. And like if you watched like season 1 of Westworld or like any of the Game of Thrones.
Winning Time had one.
Yeah, like a lot of them have these. Well, I was going to say there's before the podcasts, they had, you just go on the Westworld subreddit and people would have all their theories for what was going to happen. And then like I'd listen to like Mallory Rubin and like Jason Concepcion do their breakdown of Game of Thrones and like that. And then HBO was like, all right, we're just going to like sanction our own version of this because people are going on Reddit or on like these different forums to gossip and talk about what they think's going to happen or break down what's going to happen. We might as well like be involved in it.
Out of touch Dan Le Batard. Oh, I don't know. Hey, we host one of those things. It's called Rule of Two. Every time we have new Star Wars that comes out, Star Wars shows or Star Wars movies or whatever, I'm breaking down all the theories, me and Anthony Mays, right on the Mystery Crate feed. That's Rule of Two. Get it wherever you get podcasts. When we're doing
all
Star
over the
Wars
feed.
stuff.
Not what I ask. All it is, it's all over the feed.
Do you guys get obsessed with stuff though? If I watch a TV show Football. Okay. I just can't stop thinking about it. I'll be sitting here thinking about like Oscar Van Ryn from the Gilded Age, and I'm like, huge twist. Not giving anything away, but so I'm like, I want to listen to a podcast of other people who are obsessed with this, and it keeps me company.
To answer your question, I want to say the first show that did this was Walking Dead. They'd have Talking Dead afterward.
Ooh, Breaking Bad too would have a bunch of those
AMC was really big on that.
Mm-hmm.
It is a real interesting stream to go and just gather where people are gathered and give them more of the thing they already love. It's if you're fishing for business in the podcast industry, it's a good space.
Someone should start a Reddit for our show.
Oh, Christ.